Oh, and hello, it's me, it's that double G, and I hope you all doing well this evening. And it's not just me, it's not, because to my left, I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche! Sam, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolt of lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, Magnifico. Sam's just a poor boy. Nobody loves him. He's just a poor boy. Anyway.
I was just going to sit back and just let you do the whole podcast with that entire Bohemian Rhapsody song. Done. Shah and I are going to do a crossword. Thank you for that introduction. It was wonderful. I don't know what a fandango is. I've not tried one recently, but yeah, I might have a go later. How you doing? You all right?
I'm knackered now. completely exhausted. But it's me and that little silhouette of a man, Sam, Mr. Ducks. And of course it is the one, the only Charlotte. How are you, Charlotte?
Ah, come on. Where's my introduction?
I forgot the words.
Damn.
I know it goes the one and only, and then
That
there's
was
something
disappointing.
else, and then it's gone. I'll look it up for next week.
Damn.
Wait, do you know what? You're going to have it now. The one and only lyrics.
You blew it early.
Yeah. Because, okay, we're starting. And here is Charlotte, the one and only. No one I'd rather be. She is the one and only. My wife and kids are probably the next one thinking, what the bloody hell is going on? It's football podcast. And it is. So Charlotte, anyway, 3 minutes. Nobody knows how you are. How are you, Charlotte?
I'm really, really good, thank you. How are you?
Pooped. Totally pooped. And for those of you who listen to us on audio platforms, be that Spotify, Amazon, all the other stuff, you can join us live on YouTube and Twitch. We've got Chris in the chat who thoroughly enjoyed that intro. And Lisa as well. Welcome, Lisa. What's in my... I don't drink coffee. I am just high on life. I've got a zest for life. Zest for life. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. What is going on? Chris is going to be knackered. I am knackered. Even got going. So, and in the chat as well, Simon, you've joined at the right time. You've missed all the frivolities. Good time, but you can skip back and watch later. But you don't want to miss it now, because as you would have noticed from the thumbnail, it's a potential bye-bye for Mbappe. Mbappe, the Hansen signing that you could all be looking for at your club. I mean, for those of you that don't know, he said Lisa likes that tune. I wonder if which tune? There's so many. There's been so many. You know which one to pick from. But yes, at the moment, so Mbappe is in his penultimate. It's his last year of his contract. Mm-hmm. PSG have said, if you're not going to sign, get out. Get out of our club. Give us some money. Leonardo, former director, has come out and said, I think you should go. I'm going to paraphrase here. Don't be such a tosser. Leave the club. Let us get some money. And Mbappe has gone, meh. Sam, what's your perception? What's going on over at PSG?
Mbappe and bye-bye, isn't it? It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. I'm not. It was always going to get to this point. I think eventually, wasn't it? There was always going to be this point when Mbappe wanted to leave, and he's got this contract that's so involved in the club that they're going to get in this awkward, difficult standoff. And I don't feel sorry for PSG in the slightest, because they've opened this door. It's a bit like you give the kids the keys to all the cupboards and say, go and have what you like, eat what you like, and then you're surprised that they've eaten all the ice cream and the healthy stuff's left. You can't be surprised. Yeah, I can see they're panicking, aren't they? They're panicking, thinking how we got ourselves in this situation, and Mbappe's holding all the cards. So, but Paris Saint-Germain have been struggling to achieve their goal, and I think even their owners are realising that as well. The Champions League and Mbappe going ain't going to help that. So, when Mbappe Real Madrid, for me, seems a matter of time.
I mean, Chris in the chat saying Real want him. I'm not sure if they can afford him. I don't know if you saw one of Leonardo's comments. I think it was Leonardo. It could have been the president. I can't quite remember. He said something along the lines of, "We haven't won the Champions League with Mbappe here, but take a look over Europe. Lots of clubs have won the Champions League without Mbappe. I'm sure we'll be fine." I mean that logic, Charlotte, that PSG they could win the Champions League even without Mbappe. Do you agree?
No. I think he needs to go, to be honest. I think it's the right thing for PSG to do. They can't have Mbappe leaving on a free, can they? They've got to cash in somewhere. They've got to cash in on him, especially. And I do worry now. I think they should have possibly done it last time when Real Madrid were interested, but they didn't, did they? Obviously, they got Messi. He didn't do much there either. He's now gone to Inter Miami. Neymar, very injury prone now. I personally think they should have cashed in when they had the chance, because now they have got this back and forth and this uncertainty.
I mean, on top floor, what a name and what a picture as well. If a top floor, but it says Mbappe holds all the cards. He really does.
That is true.
Because what I mean, I get he's not going to not want to play for a season, but in reality, that's a really well paid holiday.
That's true.
It's a good paid holiday, and the sponsors are not going to want Mbappe to sit on the sidelines for a season either, are they? He's in such a powerful position, He needs to go, though. He does need to go. Paris Saint-Germain and that, he's now at the stage where he's played in 2 World Cup finals. He's regarded as one of the best players in the world, and is now at the point, what can he do? He needs to be at a Real Madrid or something over. The Champions League has to be added to that, you know. Not just the Champions League, but the height of the La Liga is bigger than in Liga. And, you know, the Premier League is massive compared to Liga. And Liga is, without PSG, is a much more interesting league, as we always say, but it's still not amongst Europeans elite. So Mbappe needs to go, and he's just, from a position of negotiation, it's all about the power that you have, and he's sitting on one big ass throne, I would suggest.
Yeah.
Just not to Man City, please. Anywhere but them, because they're already taking over the world. Just don't do it to us.
I mean, and you'd say that financial fair play should stop that, but it doesn't exist in your Man City.
No, not if you collect all the charges like Pokemon cards. It's all right.
Yeah, they want to catch them all, don't they? And, I think they're going to be like, I need that charge, right? What can we do for that? But I think the Bundesliga is a step up. Let's be fair, from Ligue 1. And I think, Chris is saying in the chat here that Mbappe signed a new contract after the real interest last time. I don't think, though, that that's an option. I think he's leveraged his new contract card. That's been played. And the fact that the club have openly come out and said, you know, are you going to stay, or shall I stay, or shall I go now? I think because they've actually laid that out to him, I don't think he's got that. And then in reality, I think he's stuck by them to try the project, because they brought in Messi, they had Neymar, they brought in players. I was going to say the right back's name, but I shan't because of all the nastiness around there. But they brought in a list of good players in to
like
try and do
Sergio
something.
Ramos as well, like Sergio Ramos and all them stars as well.
Gianluigi Donnarumma.
Yeah.
What a great name to say, incidentally, Gianluigi Donnarumma. So they've brought in all of these players, and they've not done anything. All they've done is the same thing that they will do, and they have always done, and they will never do any more than, which is win Ligue 1, the French Cup, and get knocked out in the quarterfinal. I think the Champions League chop has passed. But Chris is saying in the chat, no way he's leaving. Does he stay there? Because what does he stay for? I mean, for you, Shah, what is there for him to stay for at PSG?
Well, the money is on. I don't want to say it's not very competitive, but it's not really, is it, that league? So another title, perhaps. I think have they got Enrique now as their manager? So possibly, is it Enrique? Luis Enrique?
Luis Enrique's in, yeah.
So, yeah, possibly. If he brought in some players, and maybe for that, I don't really know.
Nights out with Neymar, maybe?
Yeah, nights out with Neymar.
He's probably had enough of those, to be fair.
He's lucky he hasn't turned into a fat Ronaldo with all them nights out with Neymar, isn't he?
He was out with Kim Kardashian, wasn't he? Was it last week? Kim Kardashian and Marcus Rashford. What a team.
Good Lord. I mean, Chris is saying in the chat, you get more money finishing bottom of the Prem than winning the French league. And it's because the Premier League is the bigger league. I mean, I think for me, there's nothing for him to stay at PSG. He's won everything there is to win there multiple times. The only cup that he hasn't won is the cup that I don't think they will ever win, because the league just isn't competitive enough to build up that competition that they're playing at that top level. And if you look at PSG's squad, there's not a lot of strength in depth there.
No.
And I sort of think as much as they do abuse financial fair play, because they do, they've got a lot more leeway. If he does go, I mean, what's he on per week? I'm not sure of Mbappe's contract per week, but that's just going to free up some nickels and dimes in of itself.
Yeah, some tasty funds. There's a lot of I mean, they've got the leverage with PSG. It's always been thrown at them, isn't it? Of too many stars and not enough of a team mentality, and that's where they've gone wrong. Is trying to have these. And okay, Mbappe is as good as a star as you would want in anybody's team, but as you say, there might be an opportunity for them to go a different direction while they've still got a bit of cash about them. But the challenge with the Champions League will always be, if you're not competing week in, and Bayern have struggled with this a little bit at times in the Bundesliga. When push comes to shove at the back end of the Champions League and your league's done and dusted, or you're kind of not having that same competition, they struggle to reach that level. It's very difficult to do. And then all of a sudden you're walking into a Manchester City. It's just levels above what they're playing. Even in the Premier League, you've got a tough game every week. You know, you can be going away to teams in the bottom half and you're going to struggle. Very rare, unless PSG take their foot off the gas, that's going to happen as much. So big challenges, even without Mbappe going.
I think I've taken a look. He's on approximately 500,000 a week, which is less than Haaland is paid. Just throwing that one out there. But that if you imagine the amount of money that's going to free up, I mean, that is something in the region of 72 million in a calendar year. That's going to free up, and it does allow them to build perhaps more strength in depth. Yeah. Perhaps because they'll be able to balance the books a little bit then, that they can get more stronger players in certain areas, rather than just, as you said, being a superstar team or a poor man's Real Madrid Galactico.
Yeah, there's a lot of egos, isn't there, at PSG? There's a lot of egos, and like we're saying, I feel like they're not really team players and people who want to be a team. It's more like showing off their talent, showcasing them, and that's what I don't really like.
I mean, Top Floor saying he thinks he goes to Real on a free next season. Or you'll join them this summer. I mean, that is probably the two options. Can they afford? I mean, have Real Madrid made any other signings at the moment? Do you know?
But the Bellingham one, obviously, I know you don't like to mention it, but that did happen.
I blocked that one out of my mind. You know,
he's officially been at training today. I think apart from Bellingham, have they done something else? I had a feeling they did something else.
I mean, he was 100 and something million, wasn't he?
Yeah, Bellingham was 105, so that's a fair chunk. But I don't know. Yeah. Benzema went on a free, didn't he? So I don't think they've got any of that sweet Saudi money, have they?
So there's it's going to be difficult for Real Madrid because they're not flush for cash either. They if you need to remember, Real Madrid after COVID nearly went under. It was purely and simply because they're the king-owned club that they didn't.
That's what I was going to say. They always find a way. Them and Barcelona always find a way around it, and it really, really angers me. It really does.
Yeah, they got some of that king's money. I know they bought that. There's that Turkish young wonder kid they signed, which they've splashed 20 million euros on, Arda Güler. So that's already 128 million euros they've spent apparently at the moment. So
yeah. So whether they've got enough money, I don't know. So it could very well be that he runs out his contract and he just goes on a free.
Imagine.
I mean, for all Football Manager fans across the world, I mean that would be what a way to start the transfer window. But that does open up doors then, because that's not just Real Madrid. That opens up doors to some of the big Premier League clubs. Newcastle, for example, could afford him. Man City, Man United love spending money frivolously. There's a lot more windows open. But I mean, are we all in agreement though? It looks like his heart's set on Real Madrid, isn't it?
Probably is. I mean, we've seen some. They're trying to throw the Arsenal link out, aren't they? I think to try and tempt some excitement. But I do think it's. I do think it's Real Madrid. I think
Why
that
would
deal's
you-
been done a while.
Yeah, I was going to say, what would you go from PSG to Arsenal? It's the same situation almost, except you're playing in a team that will never win the Champions League. If he goes to Arsenal, not a team that's going to win the Premier League every time. Sorry, Lucas, because that's just not going to happen. Lisa in the chat thinks it's disgusting from Mbappe. I mean, a top floor, so he thinks the competitiveness of Serie A is also up there. He's had 4 different winners in 4 different seasons, but there's just not the dollar in Serie A, I don't think, even if he's on a free, because that'll be a lot of money he'll demand. But an interesting statement that was made by, here we are, top floor. He said it's the opposite of Kane's situation. So with Mbappe, he has all the cards, all the power, and he had all that technical control and all of that jazz. And he seems to be very much, he's 22, is he still 22, 23? Mbappe, so he can potentially sit out the season if he really wants to, and force whatever transfer he wants. Someone who's not really in that situation, Harry Kane. Bayern Munich links just won't go away. I think I saw something in the region of 70 million is the rumored figure offer. Sam, that's not quite enough, is it?
Not when that's 70 million euros as well. I mean, I think they'd up that from like 2 million from the previous. Like Daniel Levy's not even going to pick up the phone, is he? I don't think that he's sort of. It's fair play to Bayern for having a go with those bids, but they're going to have to chump up, I always think, substantially more to. And that's. Harry Kane's been very quiet this summer, isn't he? We've not heard a peep out of him. He's been off, and remember last time when City was sniffing around, he was golfing with Gary Neville, dropping hints and all sorts, and now he's kind of disappeared off, and we're waiting to see. It's his manager, I think, he wants him back, isn't it? Old Ange Postecoglou's been sort of, he's coming back. He's told me he's coming back. I'm looking forward to meet him. Please come back.
Well, we really, I mean, Shah, do you think? I mean, I can't see him force. Well, he tried forcing a move. Nothing happened last year. I mean, do you see him actually leaving on a free, or do you think he's going to sign another contract?
Is this Mbappe or Harry Kane?
Harry Kane. We're leaving Mbappe now.
Harry Kane, I think if he was to go, I couldn't see him moving abroad. I think it'd be somewhere in the Premier League because I think he wants to break that record. But I cannot see him leaving Spurs because I don't think they will allow him. So I think he'll just stay at Spurs. I think he's kind of came to the conclusion now that they probably won't win any trophies, but he's got that record to break. So I think that's just his goal now.
I mean, top floor saying a concurring Levy forcing Kane to stay, and the PSG forcing Mbappe out. So he thinks they're both going to be free next season. I mean, I question. I got to be honest. I question Harry Kane and what his ambition is as a footballer. Because people go on about the Shearer record, having the Shearer record. He can go to another Premier League club and break that. He could go to Man United, who would 100%. Take him. I'd break that. He doesn't need to stay at Spurs to be there. I question his ambition as a footballer. It's almost like he's resigned, like Charlotte said. I don't know if you said it tongue in cheek or not, but I'm going to say it out front. I think he's resigned to not winning a trophy anywhere at any point.
Even England. Just look at him, though. He plays for Spurs and he's English. The poor guy. Can you blame him? He's just destined for misery, isn't it?
He's got nothing. It's all, and I think, I mean, Chris is saying in the chat, fair play from not talking about the transfer saga. I think he's just resigned to the fact that it's not happening. I can talk about it all I want. No one's going to put that amount of money. I mean, how old? Chris is in the chat. Chris, how old is Harry Kane? Because it's usually
younger than me. I'm sure he's just younger than me.
I think he's like 29. I think he's younger than you think. He's 29, I think.
You're never that old, Shah. God blow me. I was going to say he's older than 23. Do me a favour.
Thanks.
He is 29. Dear Lord.
So he's still got 3-4 years top level. The thing I was thinking with the Bayern Munich transfer was, though, even from Harry Kane's perspective and the way the English media are, will him moving to Bayern Munich and probably winning the Bundesliga, because that's what they do, is that going to help his credibility over here? And we're going to go, well, he's won a Bundesliga with Bayern Munich. He didn't go for the Premier League. I think they'll find a new thing to hit him over the head with as soon as he goes for that move.
He'll never win, will
I agree.
he?
I can't see him outside of England.
I mean, I think it ties up quite nicely with him, though, because I don't think he's very ambitious. So he's like, I'll just win the Bundesliga. I'll win the Bundesliga with Bayern. It's easy enough, isn't it? There's no pressure. I could just go over, mock up. You can even punch one of your wingers and still play on the pitch, as Mane has proven to us. I think
the thing is with Kane, if he really wants to go, isn't it? He's got to change that attitude. He's got to be a bit nasty with Tottenham. He's got to be a bit nasty with Levy. Put his foot down, play a bit silly, because Levy's just going to sit there and not take anything. The bids that they're talking about, the money that he wants to get for Kane, there's only a few clubs can afford it. Man United aren't one of them because of their situation with FFP. So he's priced him out of a move already, unless somebody like Bayern Munich stumps the cash up. And then does Harry Kane have the ambition to go to them in the same way if it was Man United bidding, or let's say, for argument's sake, Manchester City, like a couple of seasons ago, he'd have that same ambition. So he's got to, if he wants to go, he's got to be a little bit of a bugger, I think, and start to throw his toys out the pram a bit at Daniel Levy. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen.
Do you know what would be really funny, though? You've got Mane, Sane, and you could call him Kane. Kane. It's like spelled, isn't it?
Do you know what? It'd be like when you're a kid in school and you have like your spellings and you just change the one letter. Sane, S-A-N-E.
I'd have to call him Kane.
Sane, S-A-N-E.
Bayern Munich will be a word game. That's what they'll be. Get through their entire 11 by changing one letter.
Chris has said the check, if he leaves on the free, he'll get a nice signing on fee. He will. Lisa thinks he won't go abroad because his wife is pregnant. He'll stay home. Germany's a very short flight away, you know. I mean, you could be the Germany and back. I think what's that? It's about 2-hour flight, hour 45, 2-hour flight, private jet, because you can't tell me you ain't gonna have them dollar bills. You could do that. I drive up to the Midlands and back in the day, so my wife can see the in-laws, and that's just me, and I'm not earning more than flipping a couple £100 a week. But
I'm sure Harry Kane could get the Eurostar and then a rent a car. It'd be all right. Get over there. Drive across
it'd be
France.
fine.
It'd be lovely.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he was to say, you know, let's live in Munich. What a beautiful city. I don't think his wife would be that fussed. I mean, top floor saying, I don't think Kane cares what happens. Neither do I. Don't think he's fast. I really don't. And I think the next chat we got in the chat, so he's top floor saying the fact United aren't in for Osterman and Kane because of finances, and are looking at who's that? Say that name for me, Sam.
Hoyland.
They think Kane's going to go to United for free next season. That is quite a shrewd insight, isn't it?
It's not a bad take because United can't afford. I don't think anyone is. I think there was a lot of early talk about it, wasn't there? But I think I saw old Fabrizio talking about that Napoli have set on him staying, and Osimhen's not planning to go anywhere. United can't afford him because of their situation with FFP, so they're going to have to sell before they can buy, and they kind of ruled themselves out of the negotiation with Daniel Levy unless something comes up late in the window, I think. So they've got that's why they're going for Hoyland, because they're expecting him to be a bit cheaper, and he's a bit younger.
As a United fan, would you be devastated if King does start to kick up a bit of a stink and Bayern Munich sign him for, say, 80, 90 million, and you can't afford him because you spent over 50 million on Mason Mount?
Don't even dare. Don't do this to me. Don't do this.
I don't know. I don't think devastated would be the right word. I think most Man United fans would rather they went over the targets that we wanted them to go for: striker, goalkeeper. We did need someone in midfield, so I don't think you can get away with that. No matter what the fee we paid for Mount is. He's our boy now. I'm in Shah's camp. You're stuffed now.
Exactly.
I'm not sitting in the middle. He's in my shirt now. So Mason's our boy.
And something I did see today, I'm not sure if you've seen this. This might hurt your heart a little bit. Fred changed his age football manager today. He's moved over to the same agency that holds Gabriel Jesus because he's looking for a move. He needs to move from United. Apparently Fulham want him, but could he be linked to Arsenal now that he's sharing Jesus' agent? What about Fred going? Does that hurt your heart? How does that make you feel, Sam?
Yeah, Fred's one of those funny players. He's one of yours. He drives you nuts, and then every now and again he puts something in, or he puts a shift in, and you love him. But quality-wise, he's dropping down the pecking order. He obviously wants to play. He's got a new agent in there. He stormed into the boardroom and he said, "Right," said Fred. "I'm off. I've had enough." Yeah, it's a sad one. I love Fred. He's worked so hard, and you can see him on the pitch. He is one that is given everything, and there is times when he does have genuine quality, but you just don't see enough on it, and there's a mistake in. Particularly, I think the way Ten Hag wants to play. So, yeah, if it means that he gets football and we get a bit of... The main thing is that we start getting some blooming transfer fees for players we sell. That's our biggest issue. We let them out the door for a bag of Rolos and a fruit pastel lolly, and it's like, come on, there's a Brazilian international here that someone in Europe is going to pick up for a fee. So yeah, I'd be sad to see him go, but I think with where we want to get to, we need to start making a bit more ruthless decisions like that.
Yeah, I mean, and I tell you what, we might as well talk about. Now we're talking about aging midfield signings. Rochdale have made a wonder today.
You're insulting me constantly today on this pod. My God.
You know, I've looked back at all the abuse you've given me for like weeks on end. So Charlotte, tell us about the exciting news coming out of Rochdale today.
Yeah, we've signed a midfielder, Adam Clayton, who was at Bradford. He were at Middlesbrough as well not so long ago. It's a brilliant signing for us. A lot of people have been saying his legs have gone. Obviously, he's older, but we've also signed 2 other midfielders, younger ones, who I think will complement him. So it's someone who will put the tackles in, and it's someone we've needed for a while because we haven't had that. So yeah, I'm really excited. And some of the signings we're making, they're very young, but quality, absolute quality. I'm looking forward to it. Jim McNulty is really doing well with his budget.
He's got, I mean, the advantage he will have, he's experienced. He's played at higher levels. And he's got quite, I think, is he a cultured left-footed midfielder, if memory serves?
I think so.
He's got a bit of a one because he just needs legs around him, and I think you like you said, you have made some shrewd signings. I'm not sure. Have you acknowledged your advocate's departure from the club? Has it been acknowledged yet?
We did mention it. He left on the Tuesday. Me and Sam were on the Monday pod with Billy, and I kind of said. I thought he was going, but it was undecided, and then he left, obviously, on a Tuesday. But I think it's a great move for Richard O'Donnell, to be honest, but also a great move for Rochdale because there were rumours that he was one of the highest earners at the club. And obviously, moving forward, I think we need a younger goalkeeper. The way Jim McNulty plays, he's very possession-based. He likes goalkeepers who plays with the feet. Obviously, we're not going to get Onana because he's linked with United. But we're looking.
You won't want De Gea either if you're looking for that.
I know. But I think it's a great move for all parties, to be honest. And I was speaking to Blackpool's Her Game 2 ambassador, and they're very keen on getting Richard O'Donnell on their team. So yeah, I think it's a great move all round. And I don't know if he is watching, but if he happens to watch this, just thank you again for everything you've done for my Her Game 2 team and Rochdale.
Oh, and you did mention Onana, and that's who is allegedly part of the great Ten Hag revolution that is going on. But of course, one of the victims of that is David De Gea, who he's not been treated fabulously well, Sam. I mean, from a United fan perspective, what's going on there?
Yeah, I'm not particularly enamoured by how they treated De Gea and mucking around with the contract, but that's just symptomatic of a lot of the management at the higher level of the club with transfers, with fees, with finances, the pulling a contract, doing this. Reality, again, another problem we got ourselves into by signing him up to a ridiculously expensive contract when we had two goalkeepers who were among the top 5 highest earners and goalkeepers in the league, both him and Henderson at the time, which you can only play one goalkeeper. If you didn't know, you can only play one. That's a bit of news for you. It's a shame that it goes kind of this way, because De Gea has been a fantastic servant for United. Has been a fantastic goalkeeper over the years. I mean, some of the saves he made in particularly that kind of middle run of his career, when he had Chris Smalling and Phil Jones in front of him, don't forget. I mean, there was a couple of seasons he saved us from being probably 6th, 7th, 8th in those seasons. He was immense. You just got a period where we're playing something different, and the kind of FA Cup final, I think for everybody, was the final straw. We can't be kicking balls out to centre backs. We need to find a better way of building up. And while he did make the most clean sheets last season, his shot stopping has still been high level, but maybe not quite where it was. It's maybe start the decline, and we need to start doing what Man City do, where they spot this and then go, right, now we need to move forward. So not happy how he's leaving, and I wish they'd have done it with a bit more fanfare and a bit more respect, because I think he has certainly deserved that and earned that amongst the supporters.
Yeah, and top floor in the chat, they done De Gea dirty, considering he's been there for 12 years. And Chris is saying Ed Woodward was an idiot, wasting money in huge contracts. And like you said, having 2 goalkeepers. I mean, Henderson wasn't as good as De Gea, I don't think. Personally, I still think De Gea had the edge over him, but that was a lot of money to do on both. But I mean, Charlie, being our closest locale, did you have any De Gea memories or anything that you enjoyed the most? Or what do you think of this the situation surrounding him?
I think for memory, what makes me laugh the most is the whole fax machine. That really made me laugh, because obviously that was one of the. I used to sit there, me and obviously my family, on transfer deadline day, because my stepdad's a Manchester United fan and my brother's a Manchester United fan, so we used to always do that. And there was always one story, wasn't there, that everyone was like hooked on, and I think that was the story. And then that happened with the fax machine. But I just think he's been a quality keeper, to be fair. He had a little bit of a blip at the beginning, didn't he? He was so young and under Alex Ferguson, but he put his trust in him, and just how he's developed as a player, I think is brilliant. Like Sam said, I think the way he's been treated, they could have gone about it a different way, and we should kind of give him that respect back, whether that's to invite him so he can obviously say goodbye to the fans, whether it's a testimonial. I think he deserves that, and he should be recognised, because he's been a strong presence, obviously, for United for so many years, and I think that's the least he deserves.
I'm obviously, as a Liverpool fan, I've never wanted anyone to do well at Manchester United. But if you remember, he was 20 years old. He was a very young keeper and when he joined, and I remember it was like everybody's just like, put balls in the box, because he had no strength and he just flapped his hands everywhere. But the work that he did himself, as well with Alex Ferguson and the coach and stuff, but the work that he did, and he consistently put effort in, and he's always been, like, for me, when you've looked at, he's always been a keeper that's had sort of struggles. He's always had struggles and challenges that he's overcome. He's always had issues where he was too weak at the start, where he wasn't brave enough, and then his distribution needed a bit of work, and then he sort of had a massive confidence loss, if I recall, at one point, and sort of fell away. But he's consistently overcome things again and again, and he's had potential to be the best player in the league at times. But as Sam said, he saved you for, there was 2 or 3 seasons on the bounce where he was your player, wasn't he?
He was, I think, player of the season at least 2-3 times, and particularly in a row, where he was by far the standout. And so my memories of him, massive memories of him, would always be, it's always linked to Arsenal, funnily enough. It was his first season, and he had a couple where he got absolutely battered by crosses early doors that first season when he was signed. He was under so much pressure, and he saved a penalty at Old Trafford against Robin van Persie, of all players. And all the players went to him. They all went to him, and the fans kind of like, we wanted to see him have a moment. And then the other was when we played them at, I think it was at the Emirates, and we should have got absolutely spanked that day. We were absolutely dreadful. They had about 35 shots, and I think De Gea kept a clean sheet that day, and he saved literally absolutely everything. And that he could be like that on his day. You felt you were never going to stop him, never going to stop him. And say he did win a Premier League with us. I think he's won about 3 Europa Leagues now as well, because he had a couple had to go before he joined one with us as well. He's still had obviously not the success that some United legends have gone out with, but interesting what's going to happen to him, where he's going to go. I think back to Spain, but
yeah, because what's he now? He's 31, 32, something along those. 32.
Still got some years in him, but we didn't sign Van der Sar till he was 34, 35.
Yeah. So I mean, to be honest, I'd be sort of. Money will be a little bit of an issue, but if I was one of the teams who've been promoted coming up, he'd be someone I'd be looking at, because he's going to be a number one, and the experience and the knowledge he can give that defense.
Yeah.
And you're going to have money to spend for at least a season for him. So he could be walking through a backyard near you, Luton fans, potentially.
We need a keeper. We need a keeper. I'll take him. I know we want someone who can play with the feet, but I'd take him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't quite know how much Rich O'Donnell was being paid, and whether that could be the equivalent. But if you fancy, David, if you fancy some very appreciative fans where you'll be able to do no wrong at all within reason, Charlotte's Rochdale's there for you. They are Charlotte's Rochdale.
You can even be my player advocate. I need one now.
And if I recall, she made an offer before to do people's laundry and hoover their house.
100%.
I was like, so David, if you listen, because I'm sure you are. I'm sure you're an avid fan of the Epsom Football Podcast.
I'm sure that's high on his list of transfers as well. Someone to do the laundry will be one of his key demands.
That's exactly. This is what I mean. His wife's probably going, but we can go back to Atletico. We can be in Madrid, or we can go to Spain. Look at the weather; it's beautiful. Aye, you have to. We have to hoover our own house. Well, we're not. I don't want to hoover the house. That could be it. That could swing it. That could swing it from. But yet, no. Shame on you, Manchester United owners. Before we move on, are you going to have new owners anytime soon? Is that happening this year or?
Bloody hope so, because half the FFP problems, them not putting money in, and where we've got our situation in, just get out. I think we've all had enough. Get out.
Yeah. So that is the official message from
Sam. Message from me. Out now.
That's a nicer version.
Leave. They've had I mean, what is it? They're still just hanging about, didn't they? They've had their final offers.
Well, it's best and final number 5 or something. It's just they're just eking and squeaking and doing whatever they can to eke the best bit out, like the leeches that they are. So get out.
It's getting nasty.
Yeah. Chris in the chat saying new owners by 2035.
Yeah.
Could well be. I actually forgot about the fact that you had a takeover happening at Manchester United potentially. It's sort of died a death, isn't it? There,
gone on forever and a day. Yeah. We were hoping it'd be done before the transfer window. We're now in the middle of the transfer window, and still no sign as of yet.
It's not good. It's not good. But I mean, something else that is not very good at the moment. Southampton are really clearing house at the moment. So we've got. I'm gonna have to read through some of these so you can remember. So you've got Romeo Lavia, who's currently valued at 45 million, but the Saints could land more. They are trying to, but from what I've seen, all the Premier League teams have sort of gone, you're all right, we're not paying any more for him. So everyone seems to be holding out. They're having something, I'm sure I heard a talk sport presenter say that some of these clubs talk to each other and mention, yes, this is how much I'm going to bid. We're not going to bid more of these in what you might call a business, a pricing cartel. But we shan't make that accusation here. Other players that look at leaving, James Ward-Prowse, allegedly linked to West Ham. Livramento is also expected to leave. And one of the favourite names, Bella Ketchap, is also looking at going. There's another, apparently there's a striker with a name, Paul Onana.
Oh, yeah, the 6'7" man,
yes.
mountain.
He's meant to be going. Well, Kyle Walker-Peters is also expected to go.
Yeah.
So, are Southampton going to have any players left?
Yeah, I think they need to get rid of them soon so they can reinvest it. Yeah, by all means. There's a lot of talent there though. That Livramento one, I think they're gutted about Livramento because they were hoping that everyone had forgotten that he was injured because he was brilliant before they got. He was by far their best player when he got injured, and then he came back, and they're all trying to say, "Don't tell anybody," but Livramento's coming back next season in the Championship, and then someone overheard peeping around the wall, and all of a sudden bids are flying in for Tino.
Yeah, I mean, and he's holding out that he'd like to play. He wants to play football, which would be nice. I think that's very valiant.
Very admirable of a footballer to want that, isn't it?
I think that's very good. Well done, Tino. But Charlotte, one which is very much going under the radar for me. Ward-Prowse, West Ham believe they can get him for about 20 million.
Oof.
They want 40, but West Ham are holding out because they think they can get less than that. I mean, what would you take, Ward-Prowse?
I think that's quality, especially considering obviously Declan Rice and the money they're going to get from the Declan Rice deal if it goes through. I think the thing with West Ham is they do actually. There's a few of them, like your Danny Ings signings, isn't there, where they kind of go off the radar for a bit and then they come up with these signings, and I think he'd suit West Ham 100%. I think he'd be a quality signing for West Ham. I would take that all along. I thought it'd go to like a Newcastle or obviously Spurs, but obviously they've got Maddison, haven't they, now Spurs? Newcastle, I think they've just signed someone as well. So I think West Ham, it's the type of player they will need, especially with Declan Rice obviously leaving. And I think it's familiar with the Premier League. It's established in the Premier League, isn't it? It's set pieces for a start. Something West Ham do need. If I was a West Ham fan, I'd be really happy with Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, and I think it would definitely. I mean, you'd accept say like 100 million for Rice, and then 20 million for Ward.
And then they could obviously spend the rest of the money wisely on other players as well, where they need to strengthen.
Yeah, and he's definitely a David Moyes player. I know
they've been linked as well. I'm sure West Ham have been linked with is he Jack Harrison from Leeds? I think he's been linked with them as well.
I think he has, yeah. Well, that's a lot of money to spend off the Rice deal, and if you can spurt £20 million on Ward-Prowse and other quality elsewhere, that's a bargain for Ward-Prowse. 20 million.
That would be absolutely superb. And I mean, but going from one extreme from another. Incidentally, Chris has said he's put £1 on Southampton, Bolton, and Gillingham getting up. We'll see what happens there. But from one extreme to another, Ward-Prowse is a bargain at 20 million. Allegedly, Moses Caicedo 100 million to Chelsea.
Shock. As Sam said previously, sugar daddy football.
It is sugar daddy football. It is big money talks.
I mean, Sam, is that good? Is that a good deal for Chelsea? For Brighton?
For Brighton? No. Everyone's just getting on the Chelsea mega bus now, aren't they? With the silly fees. I think Brighton have got that track record now that I think that they can demand things of players. But you go back 12 months ago, we were all saying, remember Yves Bissouma went to Tottenham, and I think it was that 40 million Bissouma went, and we all go, that's a great deal. We all wanted Bissouma and whatever. And now there's Caicedo. I don't think there's a lot of difference between the two players, if I'm honest. Certainly not 60 million worth. And I know they're trying to point at the Rice fee, aren't they? And saying, well, Rice is 100 million. So Caicedo, and you're like, yeah, but we all know there's an English tax for English players, don't we? Yeah. It's all a bit different. I mean, Brighton will be absolutely rubbing their hands together if they get 100 million for Caicedo. They wouldn't profit last transfer window. They're going to be... Christ, they must have some holidays and a half.
Do you think they sit there laughing when Chelsea contacted them? Because you obviously had the Graham Potter, didn't you? There was that. There was what's it called as well? Cucurella. The Cucurella thing. Do you think every time someone from Chelsea rings, they sit there going, here we go.
Sneaking
profit.
100 million for you.
They've just got auto reply. Do you like an out of office reply? As soon as Chelsea just bang 100 million. Can we sign
And they
100
just
million?
sit laughing. Yeah, they just sit laughing.
I mean, Chelsea need to be careful. They're going to have to like contact Saudi again to sell another player if they're not careful.
Do you know what the funniest thing is though with Chelsea? Like the money they are spending getting all this off Brighton, they're basically giving Brighton and Brighton's recruitment team like a European spot.
Yeah,
They are basically handing them their spot, aren't they?
It's just absolutely wild. Solaris in the chat, nice to see you there. He said, I hope Brighton Scots have a sell-on percentage in their bonus. Can you imagine?
Sweet commission, the old Chelsea commission coming through.
that is just wild. I mean, they're so clever with their signings at the moment, Brighton, and I'd like to think that as long as they don't weaken their squad, they can go again. I mean, that'd be brilliant. Imagine another season finishing above Chelsea, having all of Chelsea's money.
They could get Mbappe with all this money.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Do you know what? I mean, it's a coastal city. The beach is really nice at Brighton. I mean, parking's a bugger.
Sales. Think of the shirt sales.
Oh.
You'll have kids from all over the world with a Brighton shirt with Mbappe on the back. My
it.
son is one of them.
To be fair, I mean, Mbappe on one side, Matoma on the other. I'll take that. Danny Welbeck up front. What a trio.
Pacey. I mean, he'd have the. I mean, and he looks good in a blue shirt. We already know that.
He's got.
I think Mbappe, the bluebird.
He's a seagull to be.
Oh, can you imagine? I mean, Amex, they'd be chuffed to bits, wouldn't they? The old American Express, they'd love that.
They'd be loving that. The sponsor would go mad. Imagine that Mbappe on all their adverts, getting it out of his leathery wallet.
Yeah, get out your Amex.
I'll pay, boys, he says as he gets his Amex card out.
That is absolutely superb. So we're starting rumours here, and that is one that I love. Well done, Charlotte. Mbappe the bluebird. That's
Fabrizio will be putting it on now.
I know he'll be arguing the toss with some fan about that, wouldn't he? on video call. But but Charlotte, you mentioned Newcastle. Now, I am not up to date with Newcastle signings. What have they done anything? Because I haven't seen much happen.
They've signed someone. Is it beginning with a T?
Tonali, yeah. Sandro Tonali from AC Milan. They've spent. Yeah,
I thought you meant since then. They have. I mean, have you seen much of Tonali, or shall I ask Sam?
You can ask Sam.
Sam, as a fellow football manager connoisseur, that's a signing, isn't it?
That's a decent signing. Nice technical midfielder in there, alongside Bruno Guimaraes. Yeah, Newcastle. That's a good little deal. That is, I think.
That is lovely. I mean, as a sidebar, Solaris is now tweeting Fabrizio with the Mbappe, the bluebird.
Need to tweet our own Fabrizio, Crabrizio, Crabrizio Driblano. He got Pau Torres the other day. Pau Torres to Villa.
He did.
Get him on Mbappe to Brighton.
I mean, has anybody seen the video of Tonali and his wife walking around Newcastle with he's not looking particularly happy? They make a comment about the size of the gym.
I think I saw a little bit of that. Yeah.
This is bigger than Milan's. No.
No. What did he just say to me? No idea.
But I mean, apart from that. I mean, I've got the news that I'm reading is that they're trying to sign Harvey Barnes. Which should be an interesting balance in there. And I can't see much else exciting going. They've apparently looked at a Leon right back. Kumbedi means nothing to me. Or potentially Livramento is rumored.
Have they done anything at left back yet? Because I mean, Dan Burton's done a good stellar job for them, but you would imagine that's one position that.
Wow. The rumor I'm reading in here is they're interested in Kieran Tierney.
Ooh. Kieran at right back, Kieran at left back, yeah.
That'd be confusing.
Tierney and Trippier, yeah. We'd all end up with the wrong one in our dream team, wouldn't we?
I genuinely get them confused all the time. And Chris is saying in the chat here that Newcastle, they've only got about 50 million left as they're living within FFP. I mean, they seem to be running quite well still. I've not seen them do anything mental at the moment in the window. I mean, we did mention it at the end of the season that could be terrifying if they just let everything go. But I mean, from what we've seen, there's nothing wild, is there? I mean, Shav, there's nothing. Have they disappointed you, or are you quite pleased that they're being sensible?
I'm quite pleased, really. And to be fair, I've said it all along. Under Eddie Howe, I can't see him getting too stupid. I know obviously they spend money, but I can't see him like going for them. Like they've been in the past, like with Neymar linked to him, and obviously there was rumours about Ronaldo. If Newcastle got Champions League, there was something in his contract and things like that. I can't see Eddie Howe wanting those kind of signings, and I think he is quite switched on. And it's like Harvey Barnes as well. I think he'd be a good signing for him.
It's all very sensible, isn't it?
That's what I do like, because I think to myself, they have got the money, but I don't think under Eddie Howe they'll go stupid with that, because I think these kind of signings that he is getting are quite sensible.
Yeah, I mean, because we all sort of thought that he might be out the door. I mean, Sam, based on what you're saying, do you think that they're gearing up for another season, at least with Eddie, aren't they?
Oh, 100%, yeah. And he earned it last season, I think. We all said the point comes when they want to push the trigger or they feel they can do anything else. But while Eddie Howe's doing it, I think they're going to stick there. They're going to be reasonable with their transfer fees. They've got Champions League, so they've got Champions League money as well. Not that they need any more of that, but they've got the European football, so they've now got the law of one or two players. You look at the squad and go, yes, they need to improve to get to where they want to get in eventually, but it's a squad that made the top four. There's a lot of quality players there. You're just adding bits, and I think that's the key. If they're patient and add a few bits while under kind of Eddie Howe's tutelage, then see where it goes. And we know there's a big decision at some point that they're going to have to make about it. But right now, I think Eddie Howe's earned the right to have a go at Europe and see what happens.
And Chris saying in the chat here, he thinks they're going to sell Saint Maximus, Maximus Decimus Meridius, and replace with Harvey Barnes. Do you know what? I think a season ago, if you had said selling Saint Maxim, Newcastle would have thought, what a mental move to make. I don't think it would be so much now, the way that the team's developed, would it?
He's inconsistent, isn't he? And I don't think that's the problem at top level. He's can be scary. He's absolutely scary when he's on it, but you need that consistency, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. Wouldn't be surprised to see him out and Harvey Barnes in.
Did you see as well? Obviously, I know it's already happened, but they signed Anthony Gordon, didn't they? And he won the England. Was it the player of the tournament?
He was,
under 21s. Yeah,
he did. What an achievement that was.
And let's just take a moment to acknowledge, well done, England under 21s, winning not a goal conceded.
Fantastic.
As that, I mean, Sam, you're normally the facts man. Has that ever happened? I can't think of a team winning a competition not conceding a goal.
Not that I can recall. Maybe at some point in youth level, possibly. I don't know, but no.
Charity Shield.
Charity Shield, yeah. Phenomenal achievement. The whole back line. James Trafford was brilliant. He's obviously been picked up by Burnley as well, isn't he? So they're going to be well pleased they got that done before the end of that tournament, because that would have been a whole different negotiation off the back of that. That penalty save in the last minute, that's the stuff of dreams, isn't it? So you could see the reaction and how the players all went to them. And no, it's positive. It's great to see, and great to see how much it meant to them, that group of players, because that's what you want. You hope that some of that squad as a group come through to the next team. Yeah. But it just amazed me how many of those players that are playing are players that we recognise as good players in the Premier League. You've got Anthony Gordon, people like Levi Colwill, like Morgan Gibbs-White. All these players are players that were prominent in parts last season, so they are getting game time in the Premier League, and they're not more unknowns, are they? So the hope is one day that happens at the next level. That's what we're all hoping, but they won't be there next summer after.
Curtis Jones had a tournament.
Jones. Yeah, it was Harvey, what's his name, Elliott there as well, wasn't he, from Liverpool? Yeah.
I mean, and apparently, Chelsea have been talking for the last couple of years, apparently, about how good Levi Colwill is. never heard a Chelsea fan ever mention him, but
know.
apparently they've all been talking about him for ages now that he's linked to someone else and had a good tournament. But yeah, no, it's great to see. Well done. England women's winning things, England under 21s winning things. Come on, guys. The adults in the room just can't do it. You're just not good enough. You're letting everybody down.
That's next summer. We'll worry about that next summer.
But I think that there's two more things that I think we'll just quickly touch on before some exciting times from Sam. Leeds look like, I mean, they've got Daniel Farcar. And by the looks of it, a lot of people are leaving. A lot of links now. Rodrigo, Jack Harrison, Tyler Adams, Mark Roker, and Patrick Bamford, all rumored to be linked to leaving the club. I mean, Shah, bless them. They're going to be in. There'll be a team that you'll be covering intensively over the next couple of months. What are Leeds going to do with all of these players going?
I think it's always expected when obviously a team gets relegated. We've seen it with Leicester as well. We've seen it with Southampton and obviously with Leeds now. I think there's a lot of uncertainty though with Leeds because isn't the rumours of a takeover happening?
Yeah.
So that could be a possibility. You always get players, once they've had Premier League experience, they think they're bigger than what they are, don't they? And think, I could be at Premier League level, even though they are the ones who have helped, obviously, get them relegated as well. You get that from all leagues. So I am quite worried for Leeds. I don't think they will bounce back. I think they'll have a couple of seasons in the Championship. I could be wrong. I think it'll all depend on the takeover. But at the same time, for Leeds, I think they do need a fresh start. I think they do need some fresh legs and some people coming in because, as we've seen, they just progressively went downhill, didn't they, in the Premier League? And I think Patrick Bamford, I don't think will be a big miss. I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't. He's like Conor Gallagher for me. It doesn't really interest me. It doesn't.
Well, I could care. I could care entirely. Poor Leeds. But just the last quick ones. Now, I think I haven't. I'll touch on that in a minute. Wolves have been linked with the successful signing for Liverpool last season of Arthur Melo, who we took on loan. He looked at the pitch. I'm pretty sure he did look at the pitch on the sideline and got injured warming up, and he might have even done 15 minutes. Wolves are linked with Arthur at the moment. Sam, good move for Wolves with Ruben Neves going out.
They'd be better off getting Arthur the cartoon, wouldn't they? Have a wonderful kind of day, eh?
And they could learn to work and play and get along with each other.
They could. I mean, I'm sure there's a great player in there, but we need to see him on a pitch to see it. I think that's the challenge. Ruben Neves has been such a key part of that squad for a long time, but they were preparing. They bought a couple of players in January, didn't they? I think was it Mateus Nunes came in, Mario Lemina, João Gomez. They're trying to rebuild that midfield, but I mean, Arthur isn't going to be the one that holds the glue all together, is he? He's the one that kind of needs gluing back together instead at times.
He's like Humpty Dumpty, isn't he? No one can put him back together again. But I mean,
think they'll struggle. I honestly think they'll struggle, Wolves. I'm not saying they'll go down this season, but as we saw towards the back end of last season, they weren't really getting many results. They weren't really scoring many either. And I just think Neves is a big loss. And I honestly think that they will struggle next season.
And they were worried at the start when they were the Lopetegui would stay. They were worried that Lopetegui would stay, which tells you something. If the manager's already thinking, hang on a minute, are they able to match my ambitions in terms of what we need to do? It's a squad that needs a lot of transition. Yeah. And I think he's a very, very good coach. And he did get them on the right track after January because I think they were bottom, weren't they? Or they were in the relegation zone, certainly before Christmas. And he put them on the right track. But you just wonder, you look at that squad compared to others around it, where the ceiling's going to be. And they need to do quite a bit, I think, in the transfer window. And players that they've relied on for so long, you've got Moutinho's now gone. You've got Ruben Neves has gone. Raul Jimenez is now, 35? I think he's still there, but he's not going to lead you the line. they're weak in a few areas. I think they're short on
Yeah.
centre backs. We love Craig Dawson on the pod, but he
Yeah,
can't go
but
forever either.
no. He's getting older as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think they need to spend this money wisely that they did get, obviously from Neves.
And if you want to know more about life at Wolverhampton Wanderers, Sam and I,
Nice.
we did indeed interview the head of player development at Wolverhampton Wanderers, and you can check that out. Darren Ryan, that is over on YouTube, are all about absolute interview. What was it like to work with Upategi and all the work that they've done there? And another wonderful pod that we've done recently. Chris in the chat agreed that he thinks the Lioness is going to win the next World Cup. If you want to know what professional football writers feel, Sam and Kira did a pod last Thursday, I believe it was, on the Women's World Cup. It has reached over 1,000 views on YouTube. So thank you to everyone that's watched that so far. If you haven't, you should check it out. Bethlen dropped their professional football writer for Reach, who are part of a group. They do stuff like the Daily Mail, the Mirror, all the big newspapers. Fabulous guest, brilliant analytics. Is probably one of the most professional sounding podcasts because it's not full of us.
Just Sam and Kira, they're the professional ones.
And to be fair, I let Kira talk and Beth, so yeah, I'm not sure how much I was involved in that.
But please go over and check that one out as well. That is fantastic. And lastly, before we move on to Sam's wonderful moment that he has set up for us, I haven't been on a pod with you two for a while, so I haven't experienced you personally say how wonderful Liverpool's window has gone so far. So tell me, what wonderful signings. What do you think of Liverpool's fabulous transfer business so far? Charlotte, you're always big on praise for Liverpool.
I think I'm losing connection. No, to be fair, they've made some great signings. Obviously, I think McAllister was a bargain. I think they'll do all right this season, Liverpool. Obviously, I like bantering you and stuff. So, but they've done some great, they've done some great business, and I think they'll have a point to prove as well because obviously last season, as much as I want to say it wasn't the best season for them, the comeback towards the end of the season was brilliant. They've obviously lost Firmino, which isn't great because obviously he was a great player, but I feel like the players that you have signed, obviously last season as well, you obviously got Gakpo. I honestly think Liverpool will have a lot better season. I really do. I think they had to improve as well because the teams around them are obviously improving. You've got Manchester United with Superstar Mason Mount, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, it costs an extra 15 million on top of World Cup winning McAllister.
He turned you down. He didn't want to go Liverpool. You were interested and he didn't want to come.
I'm not having that 15 million more because your 35 plus 20 million add-ons never gets on the list. Yeah, our Mason Mount always gets 55 plus 5 million. Hang on a minute with these fees.
I mean, the Slobosly signing as well. That took me by surprise.
That was brilliant.
I didn't see that one coming. I think we just if we get I could like another midfielder and a central defender. And incidentally, though, has anybody seen Jordan Henderson has been working out ready for the new season? Have you seen the pictures?
No.
Well, I heard that Steven Gerrard's been on the phone. Stevie Gerrard's been on the phone. That looks like a Saudi Arabian body to me.
Do you know what? If you should check him out, he's been doing some boxercise with the looks of it. And goodness gracious me, he got me all a quiver.
I love how you two have seen it, but I haven't. I'm like, no, I've not seen it.
You're following the wrong account, Shah.
You're missing out. You should check that out. But no, I don't think he would. I think he'd probably do another season. Two seasons, I can see him. Yeah, he'll
probably run his contract. I think he's important in that dressing room. The importance of Henderson in the dressing room is key to keep, even if even if he's not playing as much, which you would expect with those two coming in, which is some fantastic business. To be fair, I'm I'm not surprised. That's why I was enjoying the end of last season so much, because I was
surprised.
like, this isn't gonna stay the same. Liverpool were poor last season, but they're gonna come. They're gonna come. Your record in transfers is good. You're good at picking players, the right players. Klopp's now identified what you need. He's reinvigorating the squad. I'm not surprised that Liverpool are doing what they're doing, but it is a worry because they're very good transfers.
Yeah.
You're going to be a different prospect entirely with that in midfield.
I mean, and I will say, and it might sound like a bit of bias, and it might well be, but I think the way the club's been run, FSG are not always wonderful. They do make some cock-ups, but in regards to fiscally, the deals that they make, but then the things like having Milner, just keeping him indefinitely until he's allowed to go for free. Firmino, keep him for a bit. And then once his contract runs out, I think they'll do the same with Milner. I like the way that his run is. It's like a football club should be. Sensible finances. Don't make knee-jerk decisions over managers. Keep your players that are valuable, even if just to let them go for free because they've served their use of the club. I'm quite happy with that. Makes me pleased to be a fan of that sort of club rather than have a club with a mental owner that just won't piss off, or a crazy American just spending money on everything everywhere, or crooks like Man City. Allegedly. So you can't sue me. Allegedly.
Liverpool do spend money, though. We can't have this Liverpool don't spend any money anymore, though.
I didn't say don't spend money. I didn't say don't
I've been
spend
hearing
money.
that all season, though.
I said sensibly. I said sensibly. We spent sensibly. We have done. So I'll take that. But it's been lovely. I've thoroughly enjoyed that. But something that everybody's looking forward to when Sam's on the pod is, I don't know if you named it Sam's Special Time, Sam's Super Quiz.
Quizzy, quacky quiz.
So Sam, what's going down?
What's going down? Well, we have a double delight for the end of today. Double delight. So I have a cheeky quiz, and then I have a special feature, which I need to do in a deep voice. Special feature coming up at the end of the quiz. Boom, boom, boom. Right, so first up for the quiz, we're still looking at last season, some stats from last season. How well did you know what happened last season? We have the first question is, which goalkeepers had the worst save percentages in the Premier League? The top 5.
Are we working together again?
You can, yes, I think let's get you back together, working together as a team.
Together again. Nice to be together again. Who was Leeds goalkeeper? I can't imagine he had a very good time. Was not Mignolet. What's his name?
He's on there, yes. Meslier.
Meslier.
Messi Lee goalkeeper. Yeah. Yes, he's second with 59.5%.
Simon's gone for Pickford.
No, not Pickford. Kieran would be disappointed. He's had a decent save record. He wasn't in the bottom 5.
Was Bazunu?
Yes. Was not
he
good.
He play for us.
Oh, Gav. Gav.
Poor Gav. 54.2%. That's almost 1 every 2 shots.
He did save a Ronaldo penalty internationally. He did save a Ronaldo penalty.
He did. So
he's
top of the list.
Was Leicester's in there as well then, just with them getting relegated?
No, Leicester keeper, no.
Oh.
Wolves isn't there either, no. Jose Sa, the season before, was top, I think, actually. I think he was still fairly high up, but not as high as he was season before.
Nottingham Forest's keeper.
Henderson?
No. What's the other one called?
Wayne Hennessy was the other one.
They had Hennessy and they had, someone else came in, didn't they? No, not him either. Got 3. Number 5, I'll tell you, is shocking. I was shocked.
Was Chelsea's?
Shocked. No, Chelsea isn't there either.
Lisa's going for it, yeah.
I hope he's get well soon, Edward Van der Sar. I'll tell you, he's had a rough week.
Raya.
No, not Raya. No, Raya was top, I think.
Well, he would have blown my mind. That's what I thought. I'd be surprised.
No. So we get. I'm going to look through the chat. See if
Hugo Lloris.
No, not Lloris, but stay at Spurs, and you get. What's
the other one called?
backup goalkeeper for Tottenham.
It's
Used to
gonna
play the
annoy me now.
Saints and Celtic.
Oh,
fellow with England caps.
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser of the
No,
Mummy
not
and the
Brendan
Whale
Fraser.
film. No.
Fraser Forster. That's it. Fraser Forster.
Fraser Forster. Yes, it's Fraser Forster with a nice round 60%.
Apparently, Chris had Martinelli.
No. So you're thinking of Bettinelli, maybe? No, these are all people that played a fair portion of the season as well. One of them was a number one for the entire season, pretty much.
I thought we've guessed them all now.
No, you're missing. So I'll give you a clue with number 4. Brighton came in towards the end of the season.
It weren't Sanchez then.
Jason Steele.
Steele, yeah.
He was very good with his feet, but not as quite as with his hands, apparently, at 61.4%. Yeah. And in fifth place is a Brazilian goalkeeper.
Allison. Edison.
You know what?
Edison.
I'm not surprised because I don't think he's a very good keeper, Fabulous distribution, but
I was going to say he can play well with his feet.
Oh, yeah, his distribution. But I mean, there's a reason why he's number 2 to Allison in Brazil.
There's a good job, Man City. That defense is quite good at 62.3%. Yeah,
just a touch. They're
not bad. They're not too shabby. So that was a bit of a shock. The first one. Next up, we've got. I was talking with this one. Dirty Boys. Who had the most yellow cards in teams? This is not players, but teams. We did players the other week.
Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest are the third most dirty boys with 84 yellow cards, but no red cards. No red cards. Kept it yellow.
Oh, who's dirty?
I want to say, just going off the players, were Man United in there?
No, I think they were about.
No, I was thinking of like Bruno and Casemiro.
Luke Shaw's got about half of them, but no.
Yeah.
I want to say someone like Fulham or Crystal Palace. They seem
Crystal Palace, yes. No to Fulham, but Crystal Palace, 82 yellow cards and 3 red cards.
I just thought Fulham because of Charlotte's favourite striker.
Mitrovic.
Well, Paulinho, I think, was the most booked Premier League player on his own. Him and Mitrovic probably on their list on their own.
So we got Palace.
Everton?
Not in Forest in third. Not Everton, no.
West Ham, they seem like a burly bunch.
No,
not West Ham, no.
I mean, we've got in the chat, Lisa's saying Leeds.
Lisa was bang on with Leeds. 89 dirty Leeds, as they used to be known. Back again.
Dirty Leeds.
89 yellow cards and 3 red cards.
And Chris thinks Newcastle.
No, not Newcastle. No.
So what have we got? We've done Leeds. We've done
second and 5th.
Ooh.
Aston Villa.
No, not Aston Villa.
I just wanted to say in front of Emi Martinez because I love him.
Man City.
Not Manchester City, no.
Oh, they're always bowling.
Not Arsenal, no.
Chelsea.
Chelsea are in 5th place with 81 yellow cards and 3 red cards.
Leicester in there.
Not Leicester City.
Southampton.
Not Southampton. Second. I think we've done every team in the league.
Brentford.
Not Brentford or Bournemouth.
Oh my God.
Brighton.
Liverpool.
Not Brighton. Not Liverpool. No.
Who else is left? I thought we've named them all. Spurs.
No. Keep going down the alphabet.
Down. Wolves. I thought we've said
Wolves.
Oh.
Wolves. 85.
Lisa knew.
Lisa's on a roll.
She's getting smashing through it. 85 yellow cards and 6 red cards. 6 red cards Wolves had that season. Dirty boys.
Filthy.
Next up, we have back to players, the top 5 penalty scorers this season. Actually, it's 6 because it's a tie for 5th. So
is
6.
Ronaldo?
Not Bruno, no.
Ronaldo?
No.
He was. It was this season. He was there though.
It was this season. Is there?
Callum Wilson.
Not Callum Wilson. No.
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane is in 4th with 5 penalties.
Salah.
Not Salah, no.
Not Salah.
Ireland.
He missed a few. One in particular, I remember.
He did miss two, mate.
So I wanted to say him.
Thanks,
Yeah.
They still haven't found the ball yet.
No. Erling Haaland is, of course, top with 7. Stat padding, isn't he, Haaland, with
So
his penalties?
Haaland, Kane.
We've done Harry Kane. Tony.
Yes, Ivan Toney in
Yeah,
third
good
place.
try.
with
You know,
I would have
6
put money
penalties.
on that.
Low blow.
Lisa's saying Rashford.
No, not Marcus. No,
Ollie Watkins.
not Ollie Watkins.
Who takes
How
him
many
for
have we
Arsenal?
guessed?
You've got 3 of the 6. You're
takes him
missing
for Arsenal?
second and joint 5th. It's not Arsenal.
There's no Arsenal.
No. One of them is one of your faves, Shaw. One of your faves is in there.
Mitro.
Mitro is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alexander Mitrovic is there with 4. 5's going to be a bit tough, but you might get 2.
Milner.
Did you take a penalty for you this season? Do you watch Liverpool on a weekly basis?
I don't know. He just never misses when he does. So I just thought if he's taken some, he's scored them.
Can't go a pod without saying Milner.
I love him. He's just wonderful. He'll be scoring next season, don't you worry. James Ward-Prowse.
Not James Ward-Prowse, no.
Odegaard.
Not Odegaard, no.
Shaka.
Not Saka, no. No, it's not
There's no
Arsenal.
Arsenal, he said.
It's no Arsenal, yeah. I'll give you a clue with 5 because I think 5 is going to be tricky to get. Plays for the winners of the Europa Conference League.
I was going to say, is it Antonio?
No.
Not Antonio.
What's this?
It weren't
Bowen?
Bowen, were it? Rice.
No, not
No.
Rice.
Oh, it's going to annoy me now. Go through all the...
Who plays for West Ham?
Is that... It's not Parketta, is it? No.
No, not
Paqueta, no.
Paqueta, no.
Skamaka. I didn't think Skamaka scored any goals,
Ings.
did he?
Ings.
No, not Ings, no.
Who plays for West
Souček.
Ham?
Not Souček, no.
Oh, what's the other guy
Cornet.
called?
Not Cornet, no. There's a winner.
Cresswell.
There's a winner in the chat. There is a winner in the chat.
Ben Rama.
It is. Top floor has got it.
Thank
Ben
you,
Rama.
top floor.
Sorry, Ben Rama. Yep. He was in 5th with 4 penalties.
Oh my days. Oh my days.
And in 2nd is a Liverpool new boy.
Mac Allister.
Mac Allister was 2nd.
Mac.
6. Joint 2nd with 6 penalties.
Big Mac.
Big Mac.
Big Mac.
Big Mac in 6th. And my final quiz before we go on to the special feature is who had these players had the best pass completion. I'll give you a clue. 4 of them are Manchester City, and the
Shock.
top one is from Manchester United and is a shocker.
David De Gea.
Harry
No.
Maguire.
No.
Phil Jones.
No. He made 0 passes all season.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Nope.
Bernardo Silva.
Nope.
Not Bernardo Silva.
John Stones.
John Stones is 2nd with
Yeah.
93% pass completion.
John Stones.
days.
What's the
Grealish.
Rodri
Rod-
is 5th.
Rod Stewart.
91.2. Rod Stewart. No.
Jack Grealish.
Not Jack Grealish, no.
Haaland. I just naming City players now.
No.
Ruben Neves.
Neves.
No, you know what I was thinking of, didn't you? Diaz. Ruben Diaz is what I was
Ruben
thinking
Diaz is in. Ruben
I'm
Neves is
waiting for him
not.
to shout out James Milner.
James Milner. He did play
Yeah.
for City, yeah.
He did, and I'm sure he passed lots of balls. For the...
92.7% Ruben Diaz. So yeah, one more Manchester City and the top Manchester United.
Phil
Pass
Foden.
completer. Not
It's
Phil
a man-
Foden.
Is a Manchester City one a defender?
Probably
I'm
the
torn
Phil.
between either Ake. Is it not Ake? Walker.
No.
What's the other one? Oh, what's it called? What's it
Be
called?
careful which name you say.
Is it called a kanji or something? Is it
Akanji, it is
Akanji.
Akanji. Manuel Akanji. He was
Yeah.
joint with
Top-
John Stones
top
on
floor, isn't
93%.
Manchester United.
Now Simon saying Varane.
Not Varane.
Did he
Top-
actually do it?
Luke Shaw,
Not Luke Shaw. Top pass completer in the league as well.
Bruno,
No,
Fred.
Casemiro.
no. Probably wasn't
tell-
passing forward too much by the looks of these statistics.
If you tell me McTominay, I'm going to...
No, not Scott McTominay. I think more
Eriksen.
defensive than attacking. Not Christian Eriksen.
Casemiro.
Lindelof.
Not Casemiro. Victor Lindelof,
Lindelof.
had the best pass completion in the Premier League
No
last
way.
season with 93.1%. So well
Was he
done,
just going,
Victor.
lay off?
To the side,
Side
to the
back.
side, to the side.
All
Side
the
and
time
back,
we were
side and
putting. And he's the reason De Gea's gone now. We're putting him under pressure.
This is it. He's like panic, pass back to De Gea.
That was part of getting rid of De Gea. Agent Lindelof.
He had a sore neck
Agent.
because he's just watching him do this all the time, like you're watching a tennis match.
Lindelof and Maguire, the Chuckle brothers, just passing between each other. Oh dear. So that is the end of the quiz. Well done, everybody. Some excellent quizzing. But I have a special feature.
Special
Because-
feature.
Of course, and we've seen some chat around this on the Twitter. Of course, fantasy football, fantasy Premier League, they've started releasing the prices for new players. And that's up. So we have had a request, and we are going to be doing an Absolute Football Podcast Fantasy Football League. So do follow us on the socials because we will drop that out when I get the time to put one together.
Mine will be full of Mason Mounts. Number one was Mason Mount.
Mason Mount, Sane, Kane, and Mane up front for Sharks team with Mason
And
Mount
then
behind.
Rochdale's new signing.
We are, yeah. Don't rely on Shah for points, but for entertainment of team, she'll be there. So, of course, with the fantasy football coming in, the one thing I like as well is the names of fantasy football teams. So I've picked out some of the best names that people have named over the last season or so that have come in. So I've got a list of about 15, 16 I'm going to whiz through here, and I want your opinions as to what you think as I throw them up. So first up is Giroud Awakening. I'm a fan of that one. He's a beautiful man, is Giroud.
I'm a fan of anything Giroud.
Anything Giroud. Giroud Awakening is your first fantasy football team name if you're struggling. And you've got $1 Million Baby. I like that one as well. That was a nice little plastic. And then just because he's so handsome, he's back again. Giroud let the dogs out.
Giroud let the dogs out. Shrewd. We've got to sing them every time it's a song.
I think we found Shah's
Get back, Scruffy. Get back, Scruffy. You filthy, infested McDog.
Oh, the magnificent Giroud let the dogs out. And next up we have Fiorentina Turner.
And if they could turn back time.
If only they could turn back time and find a way.
Isn't that Cher?
No,
Yes!
Tina.
No,
Is
it's
it?
That song. I
It
was
is.
sending the picture. I put a picture of Cher
well
up.
done, Shah.
Yeah,
Well done,
no, you're-
Shah.
Yeah.
Your classics.
Because Tina's just the best, isn't she?
Yeah.
That's it.
Better
She's
than
just
all the
better than all of
rest.
them.
And we've got Finding Timo.
No one's still found him yet.
Still found him. Still trying to find his Premier League goals.
Although I don't know if you caught the pod last week, we found a way to make Timo great again. If Arsene Wenger brings in his new offside rule and they've allowed daylight, he'd be fine.
He'd be brilliant. Bring back him and Pipo Inzaghi from the 90s. They'd have goals for days. Finding Timo. The Passion of the Cruyff. Passion of the Cruyff. Classic. Gone for the classic football name there. Footballers. I was even happy with the picture I found for it as well. If you're listening on video, we have a wonderful picture of Johan Cruyff here.
Yeah, with a bit of hungry bum going on.
Some hungry bum. Definitely some hungry bum. Next up, we have How I Met Your Mata. Everyone loves Juan Mata.
Do you know he's the signing that broke my heart, incidentally, when he left Valencia and didn't come to Liverpool? Because I thought he was
so good.
because of the Rafa Benitez sort of links. But
I loved it. When he scored first and I could throw out my 1-0, 1-0. I loved it. Loved it. Next up, Cry Me a River plate.
Cry me a river. Play.
My Alexa's just started playing Cry Me a River. Alexa, stop.
I'm gonna wee.
Oh, Jesus. Who's that? Someone snuck in my conservatory.
Plate.
The good news is, Charles, we're only halfway through. Next up, we have egg fried rice.
I like that one.
Anyone for egg fried rice?
Oh.
Egg fried rice. Neville wears Prada. These are some good ones. Neville wears Prada. Are you being served, Andre?
I like
Are you being served?
Yeah.
Bit of a callback, that one. And we have moves like Aga. Moves like Aga.
Moves like Aga. I got the moves like Aga.
Woo!
Super Dan Aga. And we're coming towards the back end. Easy going. Eze come and Eze go.
Eze come. Eze go.
Will you let me go? Bismillah.
And the next up, if I think it is this one, I'm just going to check that it is this one. I think it is this one. Yeah. If you're, it's summertime and everybody likes a cocktail. So where do you go for a cocktail? You go for Estepina Colada.
That's maximum effort. That
one. He's very happy with his pina colada.
I like that one.
And of course, next up, I'd love this next one. The picture tops this one off for me. It is everyone's favourite boy band. It is Backstreet Boys. Backstreet Boys. Sitting suave on his sofa with a cup of tea. It is Backstreet Boys.
I love it.
And finally, to finish off the special feature, we have one more. And it is, of course, Gangsters Allardyce. Gangsters Allardyce. The original gangster. Sam Allardyce.
What a tune that is as well.
And he's one of the best managers around,
He is.
More experience than Pep and Klopp together.
He completely ripped Leeds off, though, didn't he?
He
Like
didn't
that
get a win,
money.
did he?
After that money, he is spending all of his life living in a Gangsters Allardyce.
He is living the dream. And that is the end of fantasy football names for this
That
week.
was so good.
I've got sore face now. I've got terrible face ache. But what wonderful work by Sam and Mr. FM Duck. Thank you very much, sir. And Sam, if people want more of your wonder, the wonder that is Sam, where can they find you?
You can find me on all the socials at Up the FM Ducks, all one word, on Twitter, on TikTok, sometimes on my website, upthefmducks.com, with football shirt reviews and stuff. Fulham's away one, by the way, dreadful. Keep your eye out for that in the next couple of days. Awful. One of the worst shirts I've ever seen. But yep, Up the FM Ducks on all the socials.
And of course, everybody loves more than a bit of Shah, as much as they can get. Where do they have to go to get as much Shah as they can get?
I am on all socials. I am on Twitter, Instagram, now Threads as well. TikTok, I'm SharXRAFC. You can keep up to tabs on my Her Games 2 stuff. That's Rochdale HGT. I always mess that up. On all socials, and stay tuned because there might be a lower league podcast coming up.
And if you want more of Sam and Shah together, the gruesome twosome, I believe you are together again on Thursday. And if I saw the chat right, it's a very exciting light bite. What will you two be doing this Thursday, 8 p.m. on Twitch and YouTube and all those wonderful places?
Well, it'll be pre-recorded. We won't be. We were doing it sooner. Maybe very soon, actually. That one might be being recorded. We were doing footy haircuts Footy haircuts, a light bite on some legendary footy haircuts, of which there has been a few.
And so you don't want to miss out. I mean, partial. I've sort of witnessed a little bit of what's going to be going on. That is going to be a humdinger, one that you don't want to miss out. And of course, I was only joking. You're two beautiful, beautiful people on the inside and the out, That'll teach you for not spending any time with me over these last few weeks, you big meanies. But of course, if you want to follow me for reasons I don't understand, maybe to abuse someone on Twitter over Out There Football Views, I have FMFO_official on Twitter. I do exist on TikTok and all those other bits and pieces, but I'm just loving life so much. I'm not doing anything. I'm just having a wonderful time at home with my wife and children, drinking rum in the evening once they've all gone to bed, not while the kids are up, because that would be irresponsible. But if you do want to follow the podcast, and we heartily encourage you to, we have now surpassed 200 subscribers on YouTube. We've had that wonderful Women's World Cup video that surpassed 1,000 views. We've had the one all about Wrexham that surpassed 2,000 views. If you want to get involved in all that great content on Twitter, at Absolute Ball Pod, TikTok at Absolute Football Pod, Instagram and Threads, Absolute Football Podcast _. And we are also on Facebook, the Absolute Football Podcast. You want to jump on all those great things. Make sure you're following us absolutely everywhere, because that's what we want. We want to be stalked by you, followed with all of your love and care and kisses and best wishes. Thank you very much to everyone for joining us, everybody in the chat, Top Floor, Simon, Lisa, Chris, the people, all of you, you're all wonderful. Those of you listening on audio platforms, thank you very much. Hope you all have a wonderful time. Catch us on Thursday, catch us every Monday, 8 p.m. live, and keep your eye out for an exciting announcement very soon to do with the better side of football. Thank you very much for joining us all. We'll see you next time.